Nigeria to the United States. Help democracy, don't inflame it. Nigeria is pushing back on President Trump's threat of U.S. troops or airstrikes over an alleged genocide of Christians. The New York Times reports analysts find no evidence Christians are uniquely targeted compared with other groups, even as violence soars nationwide. More than 8,000 civilians, Muslim and Christian, have been killed this year by Boko Haram, bandits, and militias across multiple regions. Foreign Minister Yusuf Tugar urged Washington to support democracy, not, quote, push Nigeria to the precipice. Information Minister Mohammed Idris called the genocide claims false, baseless, despicable, and divisive. Pew counts over 90 million Christians in Nigeria, among the world's largest population. The picture's complex here. Farmer-herder clashes in the Middle Belt, mass kidnappings in the Northwest, and insurgency in the Northeast. Rights groups cite impunity and, in some cases, security forces fueling the problem. This is a multi-actor conflict ill-suited to blunt military threats. Stability will hinge on accountability, functioning courts, and credible policing more than saber-rattling from afar. Okay, what's the real message here? Trump is butting his noses into places where he doesn't really know anything. Let's hope his threat to invade Nigeria to rescue the Christians is one of those things, along with invading Panama and Greenland and Canada and all the other things he talks about where he never actually follows up. Let's go into more detail here. There are a lot of atrocities going on in Nigeria. Make no mistake about it. And most Americans, myself included, are ignorant about what goes on in Africa. And I've been negligent in not giving enough attention to the Sudan, among other places, and crises going on in the continent of Africa. It is a bit of a blind spot. And I'll admit to you, I don't really give fair attention to it. But Nigeria is an interesting place. It's a gigantic country, huge economy, big resources. A number of my own staff are there. So I'm talking to Nigerians every single day. And I've certainly had nothing but excellent dealings with intelligent, hardworking people in Nigeria. So again, there's 90 million Christians in Nigeria. So the idea that they're all being eliminated or run out of the country isn't quite the case. Is there too much death and even tribal warfare in Nigeria? Yes. Is the United States, coming in, like the elephant in the china shop to fix things? Is that really going to make things better? No. My own sources in Nigeria tell me so much of what's fueling this is the belief of many traditionalists in certain regions of the country who really don't like the West, do not like Western influence. That's causing rage. That's causing some of these. Does it justify it? No, but that's causing it. So if the United States comes barreling in here saying we're here to save the day and defend all the Christians, it could end up actually resulting in even more. I'm TJ Walker. This is Filtered. I appreciate your comments coming in. I have missed one from one of the earlier segments. Queen Ree says, first off, some individuals need to do some research. Why is socialism considered bad in the first place? Well, Queen, I appreciate your talking about our earlier story regarding the mayor-elect of New York City, Mamdani. I would say many people consider socialism bad because there's a hybrid of socialism and communism together. Many communists call themselves socialists. Some socialists call themselves communists. And the experiment in the Soviet Union didn't work out. As an economic system, it imploded. When you look at how it's used in North Korea, for example, massive starvation, isolation, it seems like, frankly, one of the worst places in the world to live. Those of us here in the United States, especially where I am in Florida, we're only 90 miles away from Cuba and the whole experiment Fidel Castro did, which resulted in millions of citizens of that island fleeing, sometimes on just old doors and tires, willing to risk their life to get out of that society because the economy was so bad and it was repressive. So countries that have embraced a purely socialistic economic system, meaning the government decides how resources are allocated. It's not done by a free market system of individual capitalists, have simply not provided and not fed their citizens. Does that mean the United States and free market capitalism is perfect? No, but it is more flexible. It has survived. It has evangelized a lot more people from around the world because arguably, even an authoritarian regime like China is today has embraced capitalism for the most part. And so Rick is posting, again, you're repeating yourself. I'm happy to share your comments, Rick, but you got to come up with something original. I already addressed your concern. It's simply not what history shows, depending on a sliding scale definition of socialism. Again, if you want to say socialism is 100% government controlling every economic decision, yeah, that has been an unmitigated disaster.